big conversation, or rather the big movers today, of course, are PSU names, and defense in particular is having a pleasant start. Well, to talk about what's going on with the sector, talk about the next 5 years, of course, we have with us none other than PR Hari, Cmde of Garden Reach Shipbuilders and Engineers. Mr. Hari, thank you very much for joining us this morning on NDTV Profit. It's an absolute pleasure. Your company is run beautifully well and has generated enormous amount of investor wealth in the recent past, barring, of course, what we saw on Tuesday. I want to start by talking about what is happening in the industry, but I'll take a cue from the Prime Minister's victory speech, where he clearly stated that one of his focus points will remain Make in India, especially for defense. You want to share your thoughts on that? Because the market did get a little nervous very soon after what we saw on Tuesday.
Thank you. A very good morning to you. Yes, the focus is on defense and specifically for the Make in India efforts of the nation. Just to place on record, currently 66 warships are being built for the Indian Navy, and of these 66, 64 are being built by Indian shipyards. That is the kind of opportunity that we have today. Just before I move on to our vision and what we plan in the next few years, I would like to make a mention that FY24 has been an excellent year for us, with our revenue from operations growing over 40% to a new peak of 3,592 crores, and the PAT rising by 57% to 357 crores. What we have today is an order book of 22,652 crores, and these mostly comprise of warship building orders for 4 naval projects, that is 4 projects for the Indian Navy, 3 P-17 Alpha ships, 4 survey vessel large, of which 1 has already been delivered, 4 next generation ocean going patrol vessels, and 8 anti-submarine shallow water crafts. The ongoing projects, as per the current build schedule and our build strategy, we intend completing by FY 27-28. Now, coming to what is on the anvil. Okay, before I move on to what is the RFPs have come out and what is on the anvil, just like to state that GRSC has recently won an order from the Ministry of Earth Sciences for an oceanographic research vessel. The order value is around 840 crores. Plus, we have been declared L1 for a project for the DRDO, the Naval Physiological and Oceanographic Laboratory, for a research vessel around 500 crores, and also an export project for the government of Bangladesh for around 180 crores. The negotiations are in progress. So these are the orders which are likely to be concluded or what we have achieved recently. Now, Navy has come up with an RFP for the next generation corvettes. The total order value is around 36,000 crores. This is a big ticket order. And as per the RFP conditions, 2 shipyards will share this bulk of 8 warships. The L1 shipyard is likely to get 5 ships, and the L2 shipyard 3 ships. And this is an order that we GRSC are eagerly looking forward, and we will be bidding aggressively, considering our experience having built corvettes. In addition to this, the Navy is likely to come up with an RFP for 2 multipurpose vessels. The order value is likely to be around 1,200 crores. The Coast Guard, Indian Coast Guard, is likely to come out with an RFP for 18 next generation fast patrol vessels and 6 next generation ocean going patrol vessels. So these are what is likely to come out in the next 1 or 2 years. Thereafter, as per the plans of the Navy, we expect the RFPs for the 2 landing platform docks to come out, 21 waterjet FPC to come out, and also next generation survey vessels, 5 of them. So what is likely to be in the kitty for the Indian shipyards in the coming years is very attractive. And all these orders are likely to be given to Indian shipyards in line with the Make in India policy.
Mr. Hari, we're just going to take this one at a time, and thank you very much for breaking down your order book for us, what is local, what is global in a minute. I want to get a quick sense because margins have also seen a substantial improvement, and we've been seeing this historically. This year, of course, your your margins have actually been, not looked bad, in fact, for the quarter. You want to give me a sense of these new orders and what the margin picture there is, and what is the outlook going into FY25? Further uptake can be expected?
See, as far as the margins are concerned, as you rightly said, we have maintained margins. As a matter of fact, our margins during the last quarter, that is Q4 of FY24, has been very encouraging. And with our current strategy, internal efficiency improvement, we are confident of maintaining similar margins during FY25 also. Coming to our revenue, we had touched 3,592 crores during the last financial year. And if you just see, in FY20, we had touched 1,433. In FY22, we had touched 1,700 odd crores. And in FY24, we have touched 3,592 crores. So if you just take a 4-year bracket, the growth has been over 200%. So this is the kind of growth that we have maintained in the last 4 years. And considering that our order book is expected to complete by FY28, we expect the revenue from operations to peak during the next 2 years.
Commodore, good morning. Neeraj here. Trying to get a sense of what will the execution be. Guessing order booking is not a problem. The quantum of orders that will come in also is not a problem. What is the rate of execution and what's the kind of growth that could come in? I'm presuming you already said that the exit margins of 8% is what you could maintain as a year for FY25.
Thank you, Neeraj. Now coming to the projects in hand. We have 3 P-17 Alpha ships. The first ship is at around 70% and the last ship is around 50%. So the first of these ships we intend delivering during the next financial year, mid of the calendar year 2025. And the third of these ships will be completed by the mid of 2026 calendar year. Now coming to the survey vessel large, we are currently executing a project of 4 ships. 1 has already been delivered. The second ship is currently in trials phase, expected to be delivered in a couple of months. The third and fourth ships will be delivered by mid of the next calendar year. Similarly, the anti-submarine shallow water craft, the first ship has already touched around 85% of physical progress of construction. Currently undergoing trials, expected to be delivered in a couple of months. And this project will complete by FY27. Coming to the next generation ocean-going patrol vessel, 4 ships under construction. We signed the contract only last year. This project again is very well on track and we intend completing this project by FY28. So this in a nutshell gives you the execution plan for the projects in hand. The new projects, that is the oceanographic research vessel, then few orders that we are expecting from the commercial shipbuilding sector, this might spill over considering the project execution schedule.
So, Commodore, again, just trying to get a sense, I mean, the run rate of growth on a quarterly basis has been phenomenal. YOY as well. The numbers move up by about 1,000 crores each year for the last 2. I'm just trying to think on a higher base, will the growth rate moderate a little bit? Because as I said, the order booking is not a problem at all. So will the growth rate moderate? You might add 1,000 crores every year, but on the higher base, it kind of moderates that. So I'm just trying to understand what's the growth rate likely to be like in percentage terms maybe.
See, when we had interacted last time, I had maintained that we'll be maintaining a growth rate of around 20%. But even exceeding my expectations this year, the growth rate is around 40%. So to be on a moderate side, neither conservative nor too aggressive, we expect the growth rate to be around 20 to 25% in the coming years.
So just one last question. We'd love to have chatted with you longer because this is such an exciting space for everybody. You talked about how and of course Neeraj also mentioned that the order book locally is looking extremely well placed. But given the kind of developments that are happening internationally as well, you mentioned a couple of order wins on your export side. You want to tell us what that book is expected to grow by and whether or not the margins there are better, and hence if your exports grow significantly, I'm assuming the whole picture looks a lot better than, it already looks great, it only looks better into FY25.
Yes, the opportunities in the global shipbuilding segment has increased, and now most of the global players, including the European countries, are looking at India as an area where shipbuilding can be encouraged. So we are in dialogue. Actually, to be candid, we are in the final stages of negotiations for a couple of commercial shipbuilding orders. And just to place on record, I had mentioned earlier, we have won an order recently from the government of Bangladesh against a global tender for a 1,000 meter cubed hopper dredger. And we are also the L1 for a warship, an ocean-going tug for the Bangladeshi Navy. The final pre-contract negotiations are in progress. So the opportunities here are galore. But I would again like to reiterate that we are a defense shipbuilding company set up by the government for defense manufacturing. So our core area would be domestic warship building. But in addition to warship building, considering that we have the capability and the capacity, we would also be venturing into exports with specific focus on commercial shipbuilding.
Got it. So Commodore, just to wrap this up, you're saying that global orders could be commercial, local is warship defense-led building, shipbuilding, and one, they do not obviously stand in conflict. Does the capacity utilization ever come in conflict, or is there enough headroom for you to do both, even if the order sizes on the global front, on the commercial shipbuilding, go up multifold? Would you still be able to do it very easily, or do capacity constraints then come in?
Absolutely no issues with respect to capacity. We had anticipated a crunch about 5 to 6 years back. We had taken adequate measures to enhance our capacity. Now we are good to go with respect to handling both domestic warship building and the export orders.
Right. Thank you very much, Commodore, for joining us. What a pleasure talking to you. We'll hopefully try and connect back and have a more detailed conversation about the industry and, of course, about what's happening at Garden Reach as well.